So, if you are still in school, then you can relate to this story. So you're sitting in class and you know that your presentation is coming up. You're sitting there, your heart starts pounding, and you start to feel uneasy. And that's not all, but you feel like if you start talking, you will make a mistake right away and your classmates will start laughing at you. And so your confidence drops like crazy. And so it's your turn, you get up, you start shaking, you can't even walk properly. And as you are walking towards the whiteboard in front of the class, you hit a chair whilst you're going there. People laugh a bit. And so when you get there, you are fully stressed. You don't know what to do. You don't even remember how you wanted to start your presentation. And so you prepare your PowerPoint presentation, you start it up, and you start talking. Whilst you are talking, you make few mistakes. Your voice cracks few times, but the presentation goes well. Nothing bad happened actually. You only made a fool out of yourself a little bit, but that's alright. And so you finish your presentation, you get a good mark, so we are happy with that. And so that's the end of the story. And it's something that's very relatable, at least to me, because that used to happen all the time. Yeah, and it didn't even have to be a presentation. It could literally be just talking in front of class or just reading something out loud, and it could literally happen all the time. My stress levels were constantly high, and so it wasn't really ideal scenario to be in, especially when it comes to my health and so on. And recently it got much better, and there are a few lessons or reasons why that is the case, and I want to share those with you. So the first one and the most important lesson which I want to give you, how you can boost confidence or how you can get or be less stressed during your presentations, is to be disciplined and work on yourself. And I will explain what I mean by that. So if you have a regime that you are currently on, if you have your goals which you are working towards, and if you want to achieve something, then and you are working hard and you know you are putting in the work, you will naturally be more confident. And so like the main point is to be confident and to raise your confidence levels. And you will do that by achieving something or by doing the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. So basically when you are working on yourself, you are working hard on your self-improvement, then you will naturally have a boost in your confidence and you will naturally have more respect for yourself and you will be more confident when you present something. So the first lesson, to make it more simpler, is to basically work hard. When you work hard, you know that you are disciplined, then you will naturally have higher levels of confidence. And confidence is key when it comes to presentations. Because when I didn't, or when I wasn't on self-improvement, I had super low esteem. And so anything that I had to do when it came to presenting or talking in front of class, I got super stressed. And once I began working on myself, I began actually achieving something, then I felt much more confident and my stress levels dropped a lot. And that actually brings me to the second point, which is working hard, but at the same time it's something more specific. And so that is building an aesthetic physique or just having a better physique in general, so more muscles, so that it's actually visible that you have some muscles and you are not a skinny little piece of shit, and people naturally will respect you and you will respect yourself more when you have better looking body. So this is what you should always remember, that the most important thing or the biggest reason why you are not confident when it comes to presenting is usually because you are not confident in how you look, or you are afraid that something bad will happen. And so you have to take care of the first point, because that's the most important one. And it's something you can influence almost right away. So buy better clothes, start wearing better clothes, or just as I mentioned, go and get in shape, build muscle, and wear t-shirts which look good on you. so that you can actually like see and be confident in yourself and know that you have actually built something, that you actually look great. And that way you will reduce the stress levels that you have when presenting. Another point, but that's kind of a big one, or the one which is usually mentioned all the time, but I will talk about it from the other perspective. So people usually say that you should have a presentation, you should have a prepared presentation, you should have gone through the presentation process many times so that you are confident in yourself and so on. But sometimes it can actually do worse, because usually when you prepare for a presentation, it means that you put high standards on yourself. And that will make you even more stressed because you have standards which you want to meet. And so that's why sometimes it's actually better to not prepare as much, because that way you will actually reduce the stress levels from having too high expectations of yourself. Because your classmates usually don't care about what you present, because those topics are given to us by our teachers, and so it's usually something we are not interested in. So your classmates usually don't even want to listen to your presentation. And so you don't really have to care about how it will look. But if you are worried about your marks, then of course put in the work. But if you are not, then I would actually recommend that you put less work in. If you are someone who works or prepares very hard, so you have high expectations of yourself, then I would actually recommend that you put in less work. That way you will have less pressure and you will be more relaxed during your presentation. So just prepare your presentation like the PowerPoint presentation, go through it once or twice so that you know at least how to present it in general, because if you won't prepare at all, then it might result in you getting like a strong anxiety because you don't know what to do or how to go about it. So prepare at least a little bit, go through it 1 or 2 times so that you know what you actually want to say, and that's all. And once you're up there, you will usually do a bit of freestyle, but you will actually feel more confident because you won't put too much pressure on yourself. One more important thing which I forgot to mention is, and it's actually very important, that when you don't talk in front of people or when you don't socialize with people and you spend all the time locked inside your room, then of course you can't expect to be confident in front of 20 or 30 people. So what you have to do is there was actually a nice thing which I read in a book by Robin Sharma, and that is, instead of running away from the dogs, so something that you are afraid of, you should run towards them. And that way they will actually get scared of you and run away from you. And so it's pretty simple. It basically means that if you run away from your fears, they will become stronger. When you run towards your fears, they will become weaker. So what you have to do is to actually go out there and talk to people. Go and raise your hand when there is an opportunity for you to speak in front of class or read something out loud. And you will be super scared. You will go through the anxiety that I have described at the beginning. But once you do it 10 times, 20 times, you will actually have 50% less stress when it will actually come to your presentation. So this is like actually maybe even more important than building an aesthetic physique, because that way you will get used to that thing that you are afraid of. Most of the time we are afraid of things because our brain thinks that something dangerous can happen. But once you show your brain that actually nothing wrong or nothing bad will happen, then you won't fear that sort of situation anymore, because you will know that nothing bad will happen. And so you have to remember this point. If I will remember something else in the future, I will make another video, but this is just what I wanted to share right away, because I saw that it actually brings results when you go through these lessons. And so just to summarize it in general, do something that's actually meaningful, do something very productive during your free time, build something so that you actually have something to show, so that you have something to actually be proud of. And once you have that, you can also build an aesthetic physique, which can also be a part of those things that you are proud of or that you are working on. Then the last point which I mentioned is, if you are someone who puts a lot of pressure on yourself, if you have too high expectations of yourself, if you prepare for your presentations, then do less preparation. go through it once or twice and leave it there so that you know what you want to present, but don't overdo it so that you won't have the pressure of having too many things which you want to mention or to go through, and so you will be much more relaxed. And so if you are interested, you can watch that video next, and thank you for watching.